Alors, je vais donc parler plus précisément de notre action avec le groupe Massillon, sachant que, bien entendu, c'est une expérience qui peut être étendue à plein d'établissements.
So I'd like to talk about our actions within the Massillon project, and it is an experiment that could really take on and spread to other establishments. It is a special school, and it follows the classic curriculum. But as it is an international school, English is taught from the first year. They can learn various European languages and even Chinese. And so the school is very open to this sort of possibilities and obviously linked to the world through the Michelin group. So what actions have we particularly taken with this project? First of all, we have provided a synergy. The teaching team, within the teaching team, there are 24 primary school teachers and one person who is the link between the parents and the teachers and the gifted children themselves. We have also worked with the primary school director and the director of the Massillon project as well in order to help them in implementing the project and to deal with the difficulties that they might find, and they are focusing on high potential students in particular. There was also a spokesperson group of parents who met together to share their experiences and their difficulties, and it was the first time that they were really able to meet all together. We created a common committee of all of the actors involved to come together to create this project with a shared vision where all of those involved are really linked and work together to produce concrete actions. We have also, Claire has also worked on the transferal of abilities and how to identify and work with intellectually precocious children. And myself, I have worked more on the project using my expertise in international projects. In the short term, the outcome has been that they have come to understand intellectually precocious children and produce concrete proposals. There has been a person created who is a point of contact between teachers and directors, and they have come to diagnose children who are not like the rest. Each child also has a dossier which is kept to make sure that every time they change class that they are not reinventing the wheel. There is also one of the teachers is gifted himself and therefore particularly understands what it's like to be an intellectually precocious child. The early primary school classes are now tackling subjects which are a bit more interesting for the students and of different levels. There is a more kinesthetic approach to teaching. There are individual tutors assigned to high potential students who are there to exchange and to listen and to decode the way in which these children learn and what they are taught, and for them to be then reinserted into their classes. And on the long-term basis, we will be working on relay and mediation to avoid the children looking elsewhere. Thank you.
À permettre ensuite de les réintégrer dans leur classe. Voilà grosso modo. Et puis, à terme, l'idée, c'est de faire un pôle relais information-médiation qui permette d'éviter que chaque parent aille à la pêche des experts, parce que c'est pas toujours facile.
So the important actors outside of school are the parents. And these parents can often find themselves very disheartened with their children, who are highly intellectual, often manipulative, always asking for more and more independence. However, they still need guidance and discipline in order not to be drowned in anxiety. And this is what the education inspector Jean-Marc Louis has found. He found that 33% of intellectually precocious children are failing at school, and that precociousness is not a privilege but a problem. The idea is that we have to become interested in this problem and in the children. We have to deal with one relationship, the relationship parent-child, and then the rest of the system will adapt according to the needs of this one relationship. And the approach must be based on the child's own reality, according to the child's own specificities, whether they be extremely high intelligence. The children may ask existential questions. And we need to create a scenario that is created by the child, that is created and put forward to the child in order for them to overcome their difficulties. So we will start by taking the mother's vision of her child, and then the father's, and then we will then put the two visions together to get an idea of the family environment and the schooling environment with relation to the child, and how they react. The shared vision of their child will then, using this, they will create a viable solution for their child. The idea is that the parents listen to one another and that they learn to listen and interact with their children properly. So I have one particular example of a girl called Julie. Julie is 10.5 years old. She's in a family of 2 children. She has cross-eyed and she wears large glasses. Her parents have put her in a Montessori school as things weren't going well in public school. She negotiates all of the time, argues a lot, and never accepts what her parents say. She is a precocious child who is always talking. And so her mother, Julie's mother's view of Julie is that she is precocious, that she talks all of the time, but without really expressing what she really wants to say. She wants to be the center of attention. She's intelligent and complex. She needs a lot of love, but will never give hugs. She's never where you expect her to be, and everything is always, she will always argue about everything, whether it be about getting dressed, about her personal hygiene, leaving on time, doing her homework. The mother feels very frustrated about the lack of communication with her daughter. Julie's father's vision of Julie is that she's very complicated, that you have to negotiate with her a lot, above all to get her to do her homework. He's worried that the fact that she has skipped a class will make it difficult for her to succeed. She's doing well in theatre, piano, but in swimming, during a competition, she invented a new swimming stroke, so that she would finish last, and thus avoiding all of the rules that were imposed upon her. Julie has a good relationship with her father, but her father has problems in making Julie respect his authority. The work with both of the parents shows that the two parents are giving a paradoxical message to Julie. The mother discovers that she cannot stand her daughter because she cannot stand herself, and that her daughter is like her. The father, on the other hand, is worried that his daughter will make the same mistake that he did, and that she will stop studying at A-levels, and that would really be a waste given her potential. The parents realize that the only way out of this crisis is by working on themselves. The mother needs to learn to accept herself without simply wanting to please her husband, and the father needs to learn to accept his daughter and realize that she's still got a long way to go and could do very well. The contract with Julie is going to take into account all of her specificities, everything that is specific to her high level of intelligence, her thirst for knowledge, her need for competition, and her need for being recognized, and her need for independence. Julie speaks a lot in order to mark her territory. She has a physical difficulty due to her eyesight, and she is scared of physical contact. The contract that they establish is in the form of a set of rules for the house that is created by the 4 members of the family, based on values such as respect and non-violent communication. A culture of telling the truth would be created. And sometimes, for example, if Julie doesn't want to brush her teeth, rather than simply ordering Julie to brush her teeth, they could look on the internet about why it is important that one brushes one's teeth every day. This gives her a sense of meaning to what she has to do. You can also give the contracts and the challenges, give them a reward associated. For example, this could be video games, a break, or a year abroad, or an inscription to a football club. And one mustn't be afraid to give the child something to aim for. The child could have a lot to win or to lose by completing their task or complying with their contract, because a child will not be interested if there is nothing at stake. And so I would like to let Claire conclude. I'd just like to add that I think that intellectually precocious children have an essential role in the world to play in the world tomorrow, because globalization in today's world will require the qualities that intellectually precocious children can provide. Thank you.
Et dont on commence un peu à faire cas. Eh bien, ils ont, à notre avis, un rôle essentiel à jouer, parce que dans la mondialisation telle qu'elle se présente, avec sa complexité, eh bien, les enfants intellectuellement précoces ont vraiment toutes les qualités qui vont permettre de faire face à ce monde.